NRA. Even Ted Nugent, who's a listener and calls into the show, you've heard him, has said on this show, even though he's a board member of the NRA, and I'm not knocking the NRA, I used to, that we were able to radicalize it. And it should be radicalized. Radical's not a bad word when you're facing radical anti-American behavior. As Barry Goldwater said, radicalism in defense of liberty is no vice. And sometimes silence it in golden is yellow. And it's just an example of how they tell us, settle down, you know, don't accuse us of stuff that's hardcore, it sounds crazy. Well, if somebody's doing it, if Obama's shipping guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment and gets caught, it's sensational, say it. Anyways, enough of that. Larry, we've only got 9 minutes in this segment. I want to get into the covert attacks on the Second Amendment, the overt. Obama saying he may act with executive orders to go after guns, biometric guns, even Senator Cornyn's warning of that's their plan. This latest mass shooting that was really a stabbing that they don't want to talk about, and other issues. Larry Pratt, you've got the floor.
Let's start with Operation Choke Point. It's been going on longer than we've known about it, but the name has finally emerged thanks to whistleblower. And what they're doing is they're putting the squeeze on banks through the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, saying that if you deal with some 13 industries that are deemed dangerous, then you are going to either not be able to extend lines of credit, or you're going to have to charge much higher fees. And wouldn't you know, gun stores are one of the 13 industries they're going after. That is exactly the pen and telephone approach that our dear leader has promised us. And this is, companies are getting dropped by their banks because of this squeeze. Now, it's
what Hitler did for the first 7 years before he started arresting everybody.
Yeah, and it works pretty well. Now, the good news is that this is still somewhat America, and there's been a very effective response. One group that had made high-end rifles is now something like Macmillan Services, something of that sort, from Macmillan Rifles to Macmillan Services. And they're saying, well, you know, you can have a credit processing operation without being under the FDIC. And so merchants are going to them and getting decent rates, and they're not being clobbered by a bank that's being, in turn, stiffed by the FDIC. Now, the further good news, we've got somebody looking into this, and hopefully within a week or two, we're going to have a setup where we can offer what Macmillan is doing. So if you're a gun store and you're being hammered by the way the banks are being squeezed by the Obama administration, well, you'll be able to get that done just fine, because you don't need to be a banker to do credit card. And, you know, for credit cards that bounce, well, you factor that in as your cost of doing business. And we think we'll probably be able to offer a lower fee than is even currently being done before the banks.
That's right. Hammered. The answer is, if these big mega banks that are Goldman Sachs and others that have been caught, JP Morgan Chase giving money to anti-gun groups and stuff, they want to play hardball, we'll just take our business completely away from them.
Absolutely. I'm excited by this, and I'm hoping that we really can pull this off. And it may be an independent company that's set up. It may be part of gun owners.
We should use libertarian and conservative money to build our system to defend ourselves, and we should do it without them trying to control us with it.
Hear, hear.
Wow, yes. Incredible, Larry. Moving on to other covert ways they're attacking, and then this mass shooting.
Well, one of the things that we've found in this push for the smart gun, which the most recent iteration is put out by the Armatic company, they operate this with an RFID chip in the watch that you have to be wearing on your shooting hand for the gun to operate. Well, not only is it not reliable, it doesn't work every single time. In fact, I learned last night from a guy that knows a lot more about guns than I do that with every magazine that's in that gun, 10-round magazine, there's going to be one round that jams. But even of more concern, if they were able to fix the jamming problem, is that the watch and the gun both operate with an RFID chip. Well, guess what? that can be hacked.
Of course.
Oh, my.
And then they just want to ban all the guns that don't have it. I mean, this is a total...
Well, I was just reading today that they have a technology which is being installed, say, in a theater. You go into the theater, you got a cell phone. This technology, this RFID system, would detect the cell phone and keep it from ringing. Well, that's a benign use. That's, nobody's going to object too much. But that same technology could shut your smart gun off, and then your gun isn't very smart at all.
Absolutely. This whole smart technology is about piggybacking, spying, and control. That's on record. Apple phones, they admit it now, when you go to concerts, just won't work automatically. I mean, that's them preemptively blocking you like a criminal. In the time we've got left, Larry, do you think Senator Cornyn's right that he's really planning to maybe do an executive order and try this?
I happen to agree with the senator on this one. I think this guy is, he's out of control. The Speaker of the House is, well, I have a laugh line now in some of my talks. I say zoologists have uncovered a new phylum. It's called the Johannes Bainerus. It walks upright, but it has no spine.
Oh, my goodness. I think that is the very creature. We need to get rid of Boehner and get somebody good in there. Finally, what do you make of the killer in Santa Monica killing half of the 6 people with a knife?
And he did it in what amounts to a gun-free zone. The sheriff of that liberal county has only given a little over 50 concealed carry permits.
Wow.
So it's like nobody can protect themselves. And then he cased the joint. We understand from his screeds and his YouTubes and whatnot that he was thinking about one place, and then when he cased it, he found that there were too many cops, and so he went to another place at another time when he figured he'd have maximum opportunity. So this was a little spoiled kid in a very liberal home, an anti-Second Amendment home, broken home too, but for that matter, and which is also typical of young criminals.
And then we get the blame. Larry, we're out of time. Promise you'll come back for a full 30 minutes soon.
I sure hope so. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There goes the real champion of the Second Amendment. I tell you, none better. Larry Pratt, Gun Owners of America. I'm Alex Jones. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Gunowners.org. Check it out today or lose your Second Amendment.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. It took me 20 years of searching the globe to find the deposit of the highest purity iodine available. The new Survival Shield X2 is mined from 7,000 to 10,000 feet below the earth in pristine, environmentally clean conditions. The iodine crystals we use are extracted from an ancient 300 million plus year old deposit deep in the earth. It's the strongest nascent iodine on the market today. It delivers 650 micrograms per drop. Experience the new formula. Experience the ancient purity. Shield your family. Survival Shield X2. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com.